In 241 BC, ancient China's remaining great powers, old rivals, faced annihilation. The ascendant state of Qin threatened to erase them all. Their only hope, a desperate charge through Qin's Iron Gate, the Hangu Pass. Welcome back to the History Atlas. Today, we unravel this desperate gambit, the Battle of Hangu Pass, a last-ditch effort that would decide a civilization's fate. By the 3rd century BC, ancient China's geopolitical map showed one terrifying truth: Qin's dominance. 7 major states once vied for supremacy. Now, one threatened to consume them all. Qin's power was no accident. Decades earlier, the radical legalist reforms of Shang Yang had forged a centralized, highly efficient military and administrative state. This system, prioritizing merit and ruthless enforcement, transformed Qin into an unstoppable engine of conquest. Its armies pushed relentlessly eastward, first assimilating the fertile lands of Ba and Shu, then encroaching upon Han and Wei. Qin soldiers, driven by merit, took heads for promotion, not land for titles, creating a war machine unmatched in brutal effectiveness. This relentless expansion offered the other states a stark choice: unite or perish. Their past, horizontal alliances, or Lianheng*, aligning with Qin against a rival, had only accelerated their individual declines. Now, a desperate, vertical alliance, or Hezhong*, formed by the remaining powers, represented their final, fragile hope. It was an uneasy pact among old enemies, forged by terror, facing a force threatening to erase their very names from history. The existential threat from Qin forced the desperate states of Chu, Zhao, Wei, Han, and Yan into a fragile coalition. Qi remained largely neutral. These 5 powers marshaled an immense force, estimated between 200,000 and 400,000 soldiers. This vast army represented their final, collective gamble for survival against Qin's encroaching dominion. Nominal leadership of this grand alliance fell to Lord Chunshan of Chu, a powerful statesman, but critically, no military strategist. The true military genius behind the unified offensive was General Pang Nguyen of Zhao. A respected, battle-hardened veteran, Pang Nguyen had already proven his acumen with notable victories against Yan and Qi, making him ideally suited to orchestrate such a massive, multi-state operation. Yet, this impressive numerical strength masked profound vulnerabilities. The coalition's sheer size presented immense logistical challenges, straining supply lines and coordination across vast distances. More critically, underlying mistrust and differing political agendas among the allied states remained a persistent fracture. These were rivals, not true allies, forced together by a common enemy. This fragile unity, born of desperation, not shared ambition, foreshadowed immense difficulties for their ambitious gambit. For Qin, the heartland of its burgeoning power lay behind an unyielding bulwark, Hangu Pass. This was no ordinary mountain road, but a narrow, winding gorge, carved between formidable peaks to the south and the Yellow River to the north, in what is now Lingbao, Henan. Its geography made it a choke point, famously described as where one man holding the pass can keep 10,000 men from entering. Unlike the open plains where armies met in vast engagements, here, hundreds of thousands would be funneled into a mere fraction of their strength, directly into Qin's formidable defenses. These defenses were not merely natural. Centuries of strategic foresight had reinforced the pass with high walls, sturdy watchtowers, and a series of narrow, fortified gates, all seamlessly integrated into the rugged terrain. Every strategic point offered overlapping fields of fire and prepared positions for rockfalls and other obstacles. Guarding this critical anchor was Meng Ao, a general whose name commanded respect for his relentless campaigns and methodical approach. A veteran commander of many successful Qin expansions, Meng Ao embodied the disciplined, tenacious spirit of the Qin military. His garrison, highly disciplined and perfectly supplied, fought on home ground. Their morale was unshakable, facing the coalition with the cold resolve of defenders protecting the heart of their state. The stage was set for a clash of wills and strategic philosophies. The Allied coalition's plan, born of desperation and geographical constraints, was brutally simple: a direct, overwhelming frontal assault. With hundreds of thousands of soldiers, their only hope was to leverage sheer numerical superiority to batter down Hangu Pass. The objective was Qin's capital, Xianyang. Any path around the pass was impassable due to terrain, funneling their vast armies into a narrow, concentrated front. This left them no alternative but a direct, costly attack. Qin's strategy, by contrast, was a masterclass in positional defense. General Meng Ao utilized every natural and man-made advantage of Hangu Pass. His forces remained within their impregnable fortifications, avoiding any open field engagement where their fewer numbers would be disastrous. This was a war of attrition, designed to bleed the coalition dry at the gates, where the terrain itself would be Qin's most potent weapon. Fighting on home ground, with robust logistics, Qin's defenders possessed an inherent endurance the attacking alliance could not match. Hangu Pass was a nightmare for attackers, but a defender's dream. The Grand Coalition, under the grim resolve of General Pang Nguyen of Zhao, launched its desperate assault on Hangu Pass. Thousands upon thousands of soldiers from Chu, Zhao, Wei, Han, and Yan pressed forward, a human wave surging into the constricted defile. The air immediately thickened with the ominous thrum of massed Qin crossbows, followed by the deadly whisper of countless bolts. These projectiles, loosed from the formidable walls, tore through the packed ranks, felling men with chilling efficiency. The narrow front became a slaughter ground. Soldiers, packed shoulder to shoulder, found their advance impeded not only by the unyielding fortifications but by their own dead and wounded, whose bodies began to pile at the gates. Their desperate cries mingled with the sickening thud of massive rockfalls and the scalding hiss of boiling liquids raining down from above. Qin's disciplined garrison, fighting from positions honed over decades, held fast. Spearmen formed an impenetrable wall in the gates, their tips bristling. Swordsmen, protected by the choke points, cut down any who managed to claw their way to the wall's base. Scaling ladders proved useless against the torrent of concentrated fire and desperate defense. Day blurred into day, each dawn bringing a fresh wave of attacks, each dusk leaving behind higher mountains of fallen. The stench of blood, sweat, and churned earth permeated the valley, a constant reminder of the horrific toll. Coalition commanders watched, helpless, as their vast numerical advantage dissolved into grinding attrition. Morale, initially fueled by desperate hope, eroded under the unceasing slaughter. The psychological toll on the attacking forces was immense. They faced not just stone and steel, but an invisible, implacable foe, a wall that consumed lives without showing weakness. Relentless charges, yielding nothing but death, turned their desperate gambit into grinding, suffocating despair. Hangu Pass had become a cauldron, boiling away the coalition's strength and will. The stalemate at Hangu Pass was not merely a clash of armies, it was a stark lesson in strategic foresight and tactical execution. Qin's defense was a masterclass, leveraging every aspect of the formidable terrain. The narrow gorge, flanked by river and mountain, negated the coalition's immense numerical advantage, funneling hundreds of thousands into a killing zone where only a fraction could engage at once. Commander Meng Ao ensured his disciplined infantry and crossbowmen operated as a single, coordinated unit, delivering devastating volleys and holding every inch of wall. His logistics were impeccable, reserves ready, and his command unwavering, refusing to be baited into any open field engagement. Conversely, the coalition's fatal flaws became clear. Their inability to adapt tactics to the unique geography meant repeated, costly frontal assaults. Inherent mistrust among the Allied states led to coordination breakdowns, turning a unified assault into a series of disjointed, uncoordinated attacks. Logistical strain compounded the problem. A vast army far from home struggled to sustain its offensive, while relentless, fruitless charges exacted an unbearable psychological toll. The decisive turning point at Hangu Pass was not a dramatic Qin counter-charge, but a slow, agonizing realization. Day after day, the coalition's best troops hurled themselves against an unyielding barrier, their blood soaking the ground, their numbers dwindling with no perceptible gain. For Pang Nguyen, the brilliant Zhao general, the cost in lives and morale far outweighed any remaining possibility of success. He saw the truth. Hangu Pass was simply impenetrable by direct assault. It was a breaking of wool, not just a military defeat. With a heavy heart, acknowledging the unbreakable wall of Qin's defense, Pang Nguyen ordered the full retreat. The gambit had failed. The Grand Alliance, its dream of stopping Qin shattered, began its long, demoralized retreat from Hangu Pass. Though not a rout, the withdrawal was a bitter admission of failure, leaving behind tens of thousands of dead and wounded at the feet of Qin's unyielding fortifications. The Allied states, already strained, found their manpower and resources further diminished. Qin, in characteristic fashion, wasted no time transitioning from defense to offense. General Meng Ao, the stoic defender of Hangu, immediately launched punitive campaigns into Wei, recovering lost territories and exacting a heavy toll. This swift counterattack underscored Qin's dominance and its unforgiving nature. The defeat at Hangu solidified the growing mistrust among the remaining states, fracturing any semblance of unity they once held. Lord Chunshan, the nominal leader, saw his political influence within Chu and the alliance wane considerably. Pang Nguyen, the military mastermind, continued to command Zhao armies, but his subsequent campaigns, though often skillful, would ultimately prove futile against the inexorable advance of Qin. The future of the warring states, already precarious, now faced the grim, undeniable reality of Qin's unchecked ascent. The Battle of Hangu Pass in 241 BC was not merely a defeat, it was the final, definitive declaration of Qin's ascendancy. This engagement marked the last major multi-state coalition's desperate, failed attempt to halt Qin's relentless force. The Allied forces shattered against Hangu's formidable defenses, a testament to Qin's superior defensive strategy, its disciplined forces, and the strategic importance of the pass itself. Hangu, the gate to the heartland, proved unyielding and impregnable, its strategic value confirming that a well-defended choke point could negate even overwhelming numerical superiority. This decisive failure irrevocably cleared the path for Qin Shi Huang. In the 2 decades that followed, from 241 BC to 221 BC, the remaining states fell one by one, unable to mount credible resistance after their greatest collective effort had been so thoroughly repelled. Hangu Pass offered critical lessons in military strategy. The primacy of terrain, the power of discipline over sheer numbers, and the absolute necessity of unified command against a singular, unyielding foe. There is a tragic irony in Hangu. The desperate attempt to preserve individual states and a fragmented world only accelerated their demise, ushering in the dawn of a unified imperial China that would endure for millennia. This battle was a turning point, sealing the fate of an ancient civilization and forging the blueprint for an empire. What other turning points, seemingly small, reshaped the world forever? Tell us in the comments, and subscribe to the History Atlas to relive these heroic pages of history.
History is alive when we explore it together. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the History Atlas.